So yeah, welcome to the Untold Dating Secrets workshop and
Forget everything you have learned from the internet or
about dating.
YouTube.
Yeah, don't take too much advice from TikTok unless it's from my channel. So I wouldn't listen to it too much. All right, here you go. So thank you all for joining us today. I'm really excited about what we're going to share with you all. So I want you guys to pay close attention because a lot of this stuff is going to be very new for a lot of people. And it's powerful. And I really think these are going to be the most powerful secrets, tips and techniques to help you to have and meet the love of your life. Meet the love of your life and have the best relationship you've ever had. So,
And moreover, if you get the value of yourself,
yeah,
self-love, and more than just a dating secret.
exactly. So, yeah, it's not just about that. It's about self-love. It's about increasing your self-worth. It's about finding more happiness and confidence. And so the love of your life is is not even as good as the other part, which I think is really great.
Awesome. Okay.
So before we get started, I have some questions for you guys. So share with us in the chat. I have some questions for you guys, and I want you to think about this. How many of you have ever had a horrible heartbreak? Let us know. If you ever had a horrible heartbreak before, let us know in the chat. You can just say yes. Have you ever had that experience? All right. How many of you have ever had someone, here we're going to open up the chat box.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. How many of you have ever had someone you care a lot about leave you? Raise your hand. All right. We got yes. All right. How many of you have ever felt not good enough for what you really want? If you've ever been there before, you can say yes. You can share with us. All right. For me, I used to feel not worth loving. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to not feel good enough and to want someone and not feel like I'm enough for them. So I know what that's like. And so, a lot of us can feel like scared, like maybe we'll never find a person that's at the level that we really want. Maybe we're never going to have that fairy tale relationship. But I have some good news for you guys. All right, I have some good news. Would you like to meet your ideal partner? Yes or yes? That's my question for you guys. Would you like to meet your ideal partner?
Right? Big
Yes,
yes.
big yes. All right. Would you like to have a relationship better than you thought possible? Better than you thought possible. Would you like that? Yes. Would you like to meet your ideal partner within the next year? Within the next year.
Or faster.
Yeah. How about within the next 3 to 4 months? Within the next 3 to 4 months. Does that sound good? Yes. I want to emphasize that anyone can do this. Anyone can do this if they put in the work and they really apply this information. You absolutely can do this. Everyone here, anyone listening to this can do it. So I want you to believe that, because the first step is to believe it's possible. Then we can open up our mind and be ready to receive these ideas. Now, one quick thing right before we get started, we're going to do a fun little exercise. I want us to close our eyes and do a quick visualization. So go ahead and close your eyes, find a nice relaxed position. Close your eyes for a second, breathe deep so we can tune into our body, our mind, our emotions. Taking a breath in. And then I want you to see your room around you, still breathing deeply. See where you are right now, but with your eyes closed. So I want you to picture right where you are. You can just take one peek and then close your eyes and see the room around you just as it is. And I want you to picture sitting either next to you or close to you, your ideal partner. What would it feel like if they were right there next to you right now? So keep your eyes closed, and I want you to start picturing this person. It doesn't have to have an exact face. It can just be a feeling, be an outline of someone there with you. But I want you to start tuning into that. What does that feel like? What are they doing right now? Do they have their hand on your knee? Are they cuddling up next to you? Are they running their fingers through your hair? Are they reading a book? What are they doing right now? I just want you to think about it. You don't have to answer, just picture it. So picturing that person. What does that feel like? Can you feel that? All right, good. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a taste of that. And I want you to picture it as if it's 100% real. Feel it as if it's 100% real. Okay. All right, now we can open our eyes. So go ahead and open your eyes. Come back to us. How would you like for that to be real? Them really sitting next to you right now. Would that be good? Go ahead and share with us. Yes. Yes. Thank you. All right. Perfect. I hope that felt good, and we're going to go ahead and get into the secrets. You guys are primed, open, and ready to go.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to share a story with you guys. So with this person, actually, we have to do this.
So everyone been here with us before, we're familiar, we know each other for a bit. And if you guys are new here, my name is Zachariah. I'm from Bangkok, Thailand. I have a wellness background. I used to be a wellness consultant, detox specialist, yoga instructor, and now I become independent. I become a life coach and NLP master coach. So hopefully I can be benefit, bringing more some valuable content that I can share from my knowledge and experience to be everything, Mr. Gentleman,
of course.
right here.
So Soraya is brilliant and has a huge wealth of information at her disposal. She's an NLP master coach, and so she has a lot to pull from to help you guys to move toward where you're wanting to go and your goals. So yeah, she's really valuable, and I would definitely recommend following her too if you haven't already, on Instagram and Facebook as well. So yeah, I'm Zachariah Bourne. If you guys don't know me, I'm a personal development and dating coach, and I've been at this for a long time. I've been in personal development. It's been a huge passion of mine for the last 17 years. So I've been at this for a long time. And for me, I used to be a total disaster in my dating life. I think I've made all the mistakes that a person can make in dating. And so, and then I've been able to pull through that. Oh, we got a few more people joining us. And so I've been able to pull through that, and it's had a extreme impact on my dating and my love life. It made a massive difference. So I moved to New York when I was 17, and I went to school for acting, and one of my professors got me absolutely obsessed with personal development. So I got absolutely obsessed with it. And at that time, I was super depressed. I was not happy. I was not able to date any of the people that I wanted to date. Oh, we got some more people joining us. I wasn't even close to the quality of relationships. I had a few relationships in high school, and they were a disaster. They were a disaster. And the great thing was I discovered personal development, and I had some great mentors that taught me that, listen, things can change. Things can improve. Things can get much better than we realize. And so as we are able to do that and to grow and to increase our confidence, the quality of our relationships can just go through the roof. I think people don't realize just how much better it can get. So I went from 3 years of not being able to get anyone to go out with me, and now I feel like I have the best love life in the world. That's what it feels like. So I'm extremely happy that these ideas really changed my life. And that's why I'm so excited to share some of these with you and shave off years. I had to spend years learning and applying this stuff and figuring out what works best. But I'm able to distill that down. You won't have to spend 17 years. With this presentation, you'll be able to jump years ahead. And so that's what I really wanted to do with this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I'm going to be sharing some stories.
Story from Tisha.
Yeah, so this is Tisha. Tisha's amazing. And so I coached her, this is years ago now. And she was, at that time, she had a great business. So all of a sudden her business was really taking off. So she was feeling great about her business. She was super excited. She was very happy about her business. But when it came to her love life, even though she'd done a lot of personal development work, every time she thought about or was thinking about her love life, she sort of shrunk down. She became insecure. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So maybe there's some other area of your life, but your love life might not feel as good when you think about it. It can be a lot of disappointment. Some people feel lonely. Some people feel insecure. Some people even feel mad that, like, where is this person? Are they going to show up sometime?
Yeah, I can relate that because I have a few friends that really successful in business and finance and everything. But then when it comes to dating a relationship, they kind of feel insecure of, are they good enough to be a good partner? But they have everything. They have assets. They have all the material and stuff.
Yeah.
But they feel insecure on that particular topic.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And exactly. And that's what Tisha was feeling. So I had a few coaching sessions with her. And I was like, okay, what we need to do is we need to make you feel even better about your love life as you do in business. And so we were able to do that. She really applied what I was suggesting to her. She was able to take these ideas and move up into feeling joy and feeling love about her love life. And so we had a few, there's a few tools. Unfortunately, I won't have enough time to share in this presentation which tools exactly we use to do this. But I'll show you exactly how this kind of works. And that brings me to my first secret. Oh, and so what happened with her is she went from having no one in her life for many years to within 2 months, she met someone and she messaged me. She's like, oh my God, I met someone.
In 2 months.
Yeah, within 2 months,
Wow.
I think it was only like 6 weeks. And she was like, I met someone. And they've been together for the last 3 years now. And all the time I go on Instagram, I see photos of them all over the world. And she's like, this relationship is radically different than any relationship I've ever had before. And so applying these ideas, she went from not having anything for years. And then all of a sudden within not even 2 months, there's this shift and then things changed. And that's what can happen for any of you guys. So I want you to pay really close attention because this next idea can radically change your dating life. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean radically change it. All right, so if you guys are ready. You guys ready? Yes or yes?
So let's get started with the first one.
Yeah, so the first one is
dating secret number 1. Emotional numbers.
Yep, emotional numbers.
What it is.
So what are emotional numbers? So for this, we're gonna have to go to the board so I can show you what emotional numbers are.
Okay.
So all right. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm on the full screen. You guys see me on the board, right? Yeah, you guys can see the board.
You see everything on the board. All right.
So let's talk about this. So some of you guys maybe seen this before, but we're going to talk about this in a slightly different way. So imagine this is all the emotions, possible emotions that a human can have. We have a scale on here from 1 to 10. 10 being the best emotions a human can have, and 1 being the worst. So 10, we have things like bliss,
Love,
joy. All of those emotions are up here. So love, bliss, euphoria, 10. I think these two, yeah. So love and bliss, I think these two are good. Yeah, so love and bliss, right, up here at 10. That's what we want. And then down here at 1, we have things like fear. We have things like
Guilt, shame.
we have feeling depression is down there at 1, feeling powerless. So yeah. So down here 1, you have a lot of these really negative emotions. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me know if you can read the board all right. So, and then we have things in between, like at 4, we have boredom. So boredom is kind of right here at 4. Right, 5, we have things like feeling okay, like I'm kind of feeling like okay, it's like 5. Feeling 6 is like hopeful. Right, things like 8 is like passion. The good kind of passion, the happy, good feeling kind of passion. Right, this kind of gives you an idea, right? 3 is like insecurity, anger is 2, right? So we have all these emotions all over this board. So the question is, what number do you feel toward relationships? Yeah. And thank you, by the way, for the words. What number do you feel toward relationships? So I want you guys to start thinking about this. And most of the time, people really overestimate how they feel. So if someone feels insecure, they're going to be down in 3, right? If someone feels bored and they're, in dating, they're going to be like a 4. If someone feels kind of angry that like someone hasn't come yet, and wherever you feel is totally okay. All right, 3, 4. Okay, good. Wherever you feel is totally okay. The point is, what we want to do is we want to raise it. We want to raise it. So good. 3 and 4. I think that's good. Most people, in truth, are in 3 and 4. Most humans in the world are in the 3 to 4 range. So let's talk about what happens. So say you're at a 2, and I've been there before, so I know what it feels like. Okay, say you're at a 2. I've been at a 1 before, so I know what it feels like. Say you're at a 2, but you want a relationship that feels like an 8 or above. An 8 or above can't stay in your life. So even if you were at 2, get someone who is like a perfect partner, but you were at a 2, what would happen would be you would start attracting negative circumstances out of that person, or they would sort of just be pushed right out of your life. So either they're going to join you. So maybe they're at 8, you're at 2. It's very rare that this has happened. This is just theoretically. But say you're at 2 and the other person is in an 8, right? What will happen is, even though it might start off great for a second, what would happen is eventually you would pull them down into this. And so either they would start acting differently, or you would start perceiving them acting differently. But the 2 relationship, it would still become a 2 relationship. And that's the thing too that a lot of people don't realize is the emotional number that you take action from is the results that you're going to get. So say you go out to meet guys at a speed dating event, and then if you're at a 2, you're going to only attract people who can bring you 2 relationships, 2-level relationships, right? Now, on the other hand, if you're at an 8, almost no matter what you do, you're going to attract good quality, amazing quality relationships. If you add an 8 toward relationships, right? We can be in an 8 toward business, but at a 3 toward relationships, or we could be at an 8 toward a sport or a hobby that we really love, but a 5 toward relationships, right? But vice versa can also be true. You can be at an 8 in relationships, but at a 1 about your, at your job. If you hate your job, you could love your relationship.
And you can say this because, but actually when I meet someone, or when I spend time with someone, and I don't have this kind of feeling, the down here, the lower scale number. I don't have that feeling, but why still attract the same, not an ideal partner or uh, even any other area of your life? That's because consciously you only know 5% about what you know, but unconsciously or subconsciously in your life, which is running your life for 95%, is what you don't know. And whatever you think, you vibrate. Even you don't even start acting already or behave, or you don't even say anything, but if you start thinking anything, if you think insecure, if you think about, oh, he might not like me, or anything that you project negatively, you vibrate. And then you start to feel it. Whatever you think, you feel emotionally, and you feel it. And eventually it will become to you, it will turn to your behavior. Whatever you do, whatever you say, that determines the outcome.
And that's true. And that's a good point, because your thoughts become feelings, and then your feelings eventually become behaviors and actions. And so and then it becomes what you're experiencing. So it just follows this pattern. And a lot of people are not aware of what's going on with them emotionally, right? Like a lot of people lately, you hear people say men are trash. Well, when someone says men are trash, where are they? They're at a 2. They're at a 2. And so they're going to attract negative experiences because of where they are. And so we have to think like, okay, how can we move up? The cool thing is, as we move up, it's different. So let's talk about what happens at different levels. So if you're at a 1 or 2, that range of a relationship is going to be like abusive relationships are down there. Or if someone's like, if there's a couple that's fighting a lot, it's going to be down there. So when we're down here, that's the kind of relationships we attract. We attract really negative relationships. And so that's kind of the tier we don't want to be in. I've been there before. It's not particularly fun. Maybe some of you guys have experienced it before. But yeah, it can be a lot of fighting. It can be a lot of jealousy. It doesn't feel that good, right? Now, most relationships are in the 3 to 4 zone. 3 to 4 zone. So there can be some insecurity. There can be some boredom. I also call this like the mismatch zone. If you guys ever experienced that, where you just keep meeting people, but always just kind of seems like a mismatch. Like maybe you like them, but they don't like you. They like you, or maybe you don't like them. It just doesn't seem to gel well. It just keeps being like a mismatch, like a mixed bag. And it doesn't seem like there's anyone where it's like, this is exactly what I want. Right. So that's kind of what happens in this zone. So it can be insecurity, there can be, if someone says a lot of sacrifice and compromise in a relationship, they're probably here in this zone. So that's in the 3 to 4. Now here we have the 5 to 6 zone. If you think about the 5 to 6 zone, it's actually quite good. A lot of times when people point to a good relationship, they're pointing to a relationship that's in the 5 to 6 zone. Right, 5 to 6 is pretty good. Feeling okay, it's feeling hopeful, right? That's pretty good. So some people's grandparents are in this range when they feel like they have like a great marriage after 30 years or 40 years or however long. A lot of times they're in this 5 to 6 range. One of my grandparents, I would put them in the 5 to 6 range. This is really good. So this is probably in the top 15% of relationships are in here. Right? The majority are going to be 4 and below, the vast majority. So, but now we start getting up to the really interesting areas. Really interesting. So 7 or 8. Now, very few relationships are 7 or 8. Very few. You might meet a couple of relationships like that in your lifetime. It's not a lot. I call this kind of the rom-com zone. So when you see like a really cute romantic comedy movie and they're like super, into each other, and it's very passionate, and it has like a really great spark. It's in the 7 to 8. A lot of times most people at some point in their life will feel flashes of this. You'll meet someone new and you'll be like, oh my God, you can't stop thinking about them. You feel great. At that moment, you're kind of in the 7 to 8 zone for the most part, right? You're excited to think about them. It's really fun. It's, it's great. So a lot of people, maybe it's at the very beginning of the relationship, the honeymoon phase is there for a while. The reason the honeymoon phase exists is because over time, people focus on the negative aspects of people and they slowly start dropping down. But this is optional. You don't actually have to do this. You can stay in the honeymoon phase forever if you're in control of your number. You have to be in control of your number. This is actually really great because you cannot, if you're in control of your number, your emotional number, you cannot be in a toxic relationship. You cannot be. Because toxic relationships are down here. And if you don't go down here, it's not toxic. Which is pretty exciting, I think, right? So if you keep your number high, it keeps the health of the relationship. And if you can feel that the relationship is starting to really dive, and you are smart enough to be like, okay, this is not working for me, and you get out before you take a big dive, then you never end up in something unhealthy and toxic. It's actually quite exciting. So that brings me to my last area, my last zone, and I call this is the 9 or 10 range. This is extremely rare. You probably will never meet someone personally who really inhabits this zone naturally, because it takes a good deal of practice and focus and to really know what you're doing to stay there consistently. A lot of times we'll feel this, we'll feel flashes of this. We can feel like 5 seconds of this where you're just like, I feel insanely good. Where you're just like, I'm over the moon right now. So some of you guys, I'm sure, have experienced little flashes of this, or maybe even some extended periods of time of this. But doing this consistently is like magic. It is, I cannot find words to describe to you the effect that being at a true 10 and maintaining it and flowing that feeling toward someone that you really care about, the effect that has is unbelievable.
I would say I would think about the word harmonious and natural. So happy with someone that we both doesn't have to adjust, or more doesn't have to adjust anything. And it's like we know each other for a lifetime before.
Yeah.
And it's at the level of that consciousness and mindfulness is that we care each other, we support, and we nourish each other. And if we from time to time as a human being, sometimes we might have downside of maybe we have some external factor that make us down, and we will kind of be there, support, encourage, and you will feel like you're not alone. You have a teammate, you have someone in a team.
And that's the cool thing. When you have a high emotional number to relationships, things flow easily. Things flow easily. And yeah, you can feel like you've known someone for a long time. And because there's a lot more, there's like a much bigger connection. So let's go ahead and bring this home. To really drive this point home. So I want you guys to really pick up on this. All right. So think about this theoretically. Would you guys like to go on a great date, like the most insanely great date of your life? Would any of you guys like to experience that? Let me know. All right, so you guys following this so far? You guys following this? All right, so yes. All right, thank you, Joe. Yes, right. So we want to go on amazingly good dates. We want to be with people who make us feel incredible. One of the problems is we're waiting for someone to make us fall in love. We're wanting someone else to make us feel a number. That's backwards. We're doing it in reverse. It's totally backwards. So what if we did this instead? What if we showed up on a date feeling 10 before we even meet them for the first time? We're in a state of love. We show up for a date. Maybe you get there 15 minutes early. You spend an hour or two before that getting yourself into a 10, feeling a 10, radiating 10, just feeling like you're in love with everything. Have you guys ever had that before where you're in a moment, you're just like, I feel like I'm in love with everything, right? That's a great feeling. Sometimes I feel that right after meditation, that can put you in a 10.
Yeah, of course.
So you show up on a date and you're feeling a 10. You're feeling great. And the person you're on a date with, you just meet them for the first time, but they show up at like a 5. They're feeling okay, not bad. They're not in a deeply negative state, but they're at a 5. But your 10 is so strong. So you're just in a state of love. What will happen is, if your 10 is strong, you will start bringing them up. And they will feel like, oh my God, who am I on a date with? Who is this person? I don't know what it is. I'm just getting this feeling. Things are flowing very well. I'm just getting this feeling. And it will set you apart from the rest of people radically. Because if you think about it, what is the one most important thing in all relationships? What's the number one thing? It's emotions. It's emotions. The only reason we want people to act differently or do things we want is because of emotions. So if we are feeling a 10 and we're bringing them up, they're going to be like, holy crap, something is different about this person. And if you're able to do that consistently, you're going to have love like crawling through your roof, like coming in like through your door. Like love is going to be like, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be showing up all over the place.
And it's not just from my another point of view. If you can bring this strategy to apply any other area of your life as well, because emotion is simply in energy in emotion. So when you feel like at 10, and then maybe your staff, your colleague, your coworker at 5, you bring them up. You make the whole culture, company culture up by just you being in the awesome and amazing state. And that's it. And
Yeah.
it's very, very easy. And yeah, this strategy actually apply in any other area.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's a good point. Don't we want to lift people up? You know, isn't that who we want to be in the world? We want to be the person who picks people up, who, you know, who brightens up a room when they walk in. And so getting good at this will change your life. And a lot of people say something will change your life, but this will genuinely make a radical impact on your life. So we'll go ahead and get into the next one. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to share screen.
And secret number 2. If you have any questions, please don't forget to write down the chat.
Yeah, definitely share with us. We want this to be interactive.
The number 2.
All right, number 2. So I wanted to share this story. Share a story about Kathy. So when Kathy came to me, you know, she'd been married before. You know, she had kids, and I think she even has grandkids. But she told me, she's like, I'd never been in love before. She never felt like what that feels like to be in love. And I think this is true of a lot of people, because being at this 10 is a very rare thing. And that's really what being in a state of love is, being at this 10. And so, yeah, I wanted to work with her, and so she never felt like she'd been in love before. So what we were able to do, we did a few things. One, she felt like she'd been putting so much importance, so much pressure on herself to like find the right person, that she was constantly looking for red flags. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, where you're like, okay, well, I got to make sure I'm not with the wrong person. Never felt like that before. And so what we did is we changed that. And I told her, I was like, look, we have too much importance on this. We need to lower it. And so as we can lower the importance, then it becomes natural to have someone in your life. It becomes natural to love. And as we shifted from looking for red flags to looking for what I call love flags, it really changed the effect of that it had. So this was really powerful. So the next thing is the next secret. We have 3 today.
Yeah, you get what you focus on. You look for a red flag, you get a red flag. You get more of the red flag.
That's right. Absolutely true.
Okay.
100%. And so the next secret is lowering the importance. Lowering the importance. So what is lowering the importance? So we'll go ahead and
Let's switch to whiteboard.
yeah, we're gonna switch to the whiteboard.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing and let me know if you guys can see the whiteboard well. I'm gonna draw this. This one's gonna be a little bit quicker. So let's talk about this. So imagine this is person A. Right? A for Alex or Alexis. And person B here. B for Brendan or Brenda. All right, so we have two people. All right, can you guys see this well? And so we have person A and person B. Now, person A, this is their level of importance toward relationships. Now, now let me ask you guys, have you guys ever experienced this before where something you didn't really care about, something that wasn't that important to you, came into your life very easily, like bam, you're like, man, I just thought about that like yesterday and here it is, and it just came in so easily and so naturally. What's going on? Like, what is that? Have you ever experienced that before?
Synchronicity.
Definitely been there before. But the things that we like want so bad, they just stay out of our experience, right? We have that, so yes. So what's going on? It has to do with our level of importance, right? So person A has very high level of importance, and what happens is it sort of forms a wall. When the importance is high on something, it starts blocking it. Because when we make something important, we actually push that thing away. Not just subconsciously, which we do it like subconsciously, but also with our energy, with our mindset. When something's too important, we push it away. And so as we have this importance too high, and it's set at sort of a subconscious level, right? What can happen? If something we want tries to come in, say we got some love trying to come in, what happens? It hits the wall. But if love tries to come in over here, my beautiful hearts, there's nothing blocking it, so it can come right into Dean's life. And so what happens is when our importance is high, our desperation is high. Have you guys ever been on a date with someone and they seem desperate? You're like, ooh, I got to get out of here. Right? You ever feel that before? So if we can lower the importance, things can come in. It lowers the pressure on us. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so this is what happened with Kathy. So we lowered the importance, and within a couple of months, we lowered the importance. Within a few months, and as she's looking for love flags, she meets a guy. She's like, oh my God. She texted me. She's like, I've fallen in love for the first time. I've fallen in love for the first time. Yeah, it's not lowering your standards. I know you're asking a question. It's not lowering your standards. If anything, in many ways, it's kind of the opposite. So it's not lowering your standards. It's lowering the importance, the pressure on it. You're making it natural that you have it. In a way, you're kind of raising yourself up to the standards that you want, right? When we put a lot of pressure on it, that we have to meet all of these things, then we keep it away. So we're not lowering our standards. If anything, I want you guys to raise your standards, but we'll talk a little bit about that more in the third one. But we need to stop blocking it.
May I add my
course.
sharing? In terms of the lower standard, it's not as you expected. And from my point of view, it's about when you put too much importance, you in the state of lack, you instead of desperate, you in the state of I don't have it. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And but when you lower the importance, you in the state of I already have it. I got it. you more powerful in that kind of way. You not feel like, but you already have it within you.
That's true.
So you don't feel desperate to grab, to get, try so hard and anything.
Right. And that's a great way to put it as well. So what happens as well is, have you guys ever had a time where you're emotionally reacting a lot? Emotional reaction is always from too much importance. So we have too much importance. So when we can lower that, it can really change everything. So as we lower the importance, things really begin to change. We stop blocking it. But also we stop reacting. So we're not having as many reactions. That's really powerful place to
We
be.
choose to respond rather than react or instant react.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is something we kind of need to change subconsciously, but it has a huge impact that I can't even quite put words to. So, all right, we're going to move on to the third one. We're going to share, bring this back. All right.
I like the third one personally.
All right, so yeah, stick with us for the third one.
Yeah. Like,
All right, so Jackie's amazing. So here's what happened with Jackie. She used this next technique that I'm going to show you guys. So when Jackie came to me, she was really lacking confidence. She didn't have the confidence to do a lot of the things she wanted to do. So when she came to me, she had an entry-level job. So she was at the bottom of the company. She had an entry-level job. She wasn't happy there. She wanted to make more money, but she couldn't really find a way around it. She didn't really have the experience. And every time she thought about it, she sort of shot herself in the foot because she felt insecure about it. So she kind of had been taking a break from dating because she felt like she wasn't worth having what she truly wanted. And she also had a very critical mother. So that's where a lot of this came from. Her mother was always very critical of her. And that caused her to have a lot of body image issues, have a lot of confidence issues, and to think negatively about herself. And so this had an impact on her. What we were able to do, though, which was really exciting, we were able to boost up her confidence. We were able to boost up her confidence, and we were able to do what we're about to talk about. And the effect of it was really amazing. So she went from having, being scared to where, to go to the beach, to all of a sudden, like, going to the gym, excited after this shift. After I was coaching her for a month or so, she had this shift inside of her. And all of a sudden she's like, I gotta go to the gym. She's just loving the gym. 3 months later, she's a six-pack. She's like in killer shape. She just went like hardcore in. And 2 months later, 2 months after during the coaching, she went from having an entry-level position. She was able to, she talked her boss into giving her a whole team to run. So she jumped from entry level to bam, having a whole team under her, even though she didn't have the experience, she wasn't qualified, but her confidence was so strong that she was able to talk her boss into it. And she had a huge increase in her salary and her income, and it made a massive difference. And the last thing she was able to do, instead of being afraid of dating, she was able to actually ask for what she wanted. She was able to feel so much more confident and have so much higher self-worth that her capacity for love expanded so much. And this guy, within 2 months saw her and was like, oh my God, I have to marry this woman. That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. So yeah, they've been married for, I think, 3 years now. So I see pictures of them all the time. And yeah, I feel very proud to see that. And yeah, that's what happened with Kathy also. So she met someone, she fell in love, and now they're engaged. And so these shifts make a huge difference, massive difference. So let's go ahead and talk about the third secret. You guys ready?
yeah.
You guys following this so far?
The last one, the last secret. Getting to number 3. Your love container.
Your love container.
Is that above?
Love it. Yeah, it can be. So your love container. All right, your love container. I talked about this before, but we're going to explain this in a little bit different way. So we can switch to the whiteboard. All right. So All right. Can you guys see this? This is a little cup right here.
All right.
All right, so imagine a little cup right here. So we have this little cup. Let's say this represents what we can mentally, emotionally, spiritually hold in our life. So say, and this is relating specifically to dating because people have different size, mental, emotional capacity or containers related to different topics. But for the topic of love, let's say it's this size. But we want to date someone, and our capacity to date this person needs to be this big. So what happens if the person we want to date has this container, it's full of water, full of love, however you want to picture it. And if this were to drip down into this one, it would fill up very fast, but then it wouldn't be able to hold anymore. And this is what's happening to people, is their capacity is a certain level and everything else will just drip over the side. It's not going to stay in. So if the person we want to date, we're going to have to grow to this size. So this level of mental, emotional capacity. And another way to think about this, when people talk about people in a different league, when people say different league, they're talking about different capacity. So I'm going to explain this in a new way as well. So let's talk about this. We're going deep. You guys ready? Going deep.
Just in case. Let's say, can I share example?
Of course.
What if I'm just thinking of someone everyone almost in the world know. I'm thinking of, Bruno Mars. Most of people know Bruno Mars. And for some reason, not for some reason, he actually in Japan tour right now. And for some reason, tomorrow I'm flying to Japan and I'm going to have a dinner with him, dating him. I know he has a girlfriend, but
For this example,
I'm gonna have the dinner with him. And for some reason, we're gonna date. Do you think that my container can hold Bruno Mars? The guy everybody know in the world, win a lot of Grammy Awards. And I got to wear a dress, heels to his, color and stuff, red carpet with him. How can that is my container for Bruno Mars. You can imagine.
Most people, yeah, if they were going to date celebrity, the whole time they'd be like, holy crap, like a nervous
I'm
wreck.
probably shaking a lot. Oh my God, I'm watching Bruno Mars. I'm
Right.
his friend, kind of
Exactly.
thing. That is the container.
Exactly. And so our container, and we can tell the size of our container based on the people we've dated in the past. And the people we're nervous to talk to, they're going to be on a little bit of a different level than we're on. But the great thing is it's changeable. All right, I'll give you an example. Actually, change the person Z for this.
But I do everything to date him anyway. It's just example, but I'll do everything.
All right, so this number, all right, can you guys see this? All right. So this, let's say this is person Z, as in person Zach.
Okay.
All right, so let's say my level of self-worth or my container size is at 100 points.
100 points.
100 points. These numbers are not important. It's just to show relative to each other. So the truth is, we think that someone like Bruno Mars or someone like,
Right.
Some celebrity, maybe Chris Hemsworth or whoever could date whoever they want. But that's actually not true. We can only date within a very narrow band. So you ask, why do you think you're not up to Bruno Mars level?
Okay.
All right, well, so let's
Sure.
talk about this. This is a great question to ask.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll give an example. So say my self-worth level is 100. People actually only date within a narrow band. This narrow area, this narrow belt, so to speak, near 100. Because what happens is, if someone's self-worth is below this, say they're down here, then we're not going to be attracted. I'm sure we've had that where we've run into people who like us, but like we can tell their self-worth is not very high. We're not so interested, right? They don't have the qualities that we want. We're not that into it. So that's what happens. Now, on the other hand, if we meet someone and they are way above our bands, then we self-sabotage. We self-sabotage, and everyone does it. We all do it. And it's
like
subconscious
not
too.
good enough or something like
Yeah,
that.
if we feel not good enough, we're going to be very insecure. We're not going to be acting quite like ourselves. And the funny thing is too, our minds usually delete it. It's easier to sometimes see on the outside. I'll give you an example. So many years ago, I was working at a very busy restaurant in New York. This is over 10 years ago, and there was a woman that I really liked, but I could tell her level of self-worth is like extremely high. We'll say it's person B is 200. It's a huge gap between where I am and where I feel natural in this person. So I really like this person. So she's a hostess at the restaurant I worked at. She was tall, she was beautiful, she, smart, she was super kind, and she was awesome. So imagine you would imagine, right? Logically, what should happen is I should just go up to her and try to talk to her, try to ask her out, right? That would make logical sense. Did I do that? Absolutely not. I stayed as far away as possible as I could, even though sometimes she would give me some indications that, she enjoyed talking to me or even liked me a little bit. But I did not go near her because I could just feel that I would not be able to handle it or keep up. And it's kind of a weird sensation when you feel that and you know that. So, and I see this a lot too, right? When we like really like someone, sometimes we get nervous or scared to talk to them. This is sort of what's happening. So now this person actually went on to become, funny enough, she went on to kind of become a movie star. She's like in the Baywatch movie, and she's like on a bunch of big TV shows. Which is interesting too, because people with really high self-worth often go on to do kind of amazing things. And so, she was even having guys like come into the restaurant and proposing right there upon seeing her for the first time. So it was pretty wild to be around that kind of energy. And so I could feel that there's too big of a gap. So instead, we'll change this to explain this in more detail. What I needed to do was raise my level of self-worth, expand my container so that we're at the same level. And until you do that, you really can't keep them in your life. You really can't hold them into your life. So this is really powerful. Yeah, okay, so you're asking, so it's basically your self-worth. And why one would say this as to why someone would say this. What do you mean? You have to
So
let me
it's
know.
based on your self-worth and why one. If this question asking me, why would I think I'm not up for Buddha Mass, right? So if it was before the person not today sitting here talking, I would be kind of feeling, no, this is insensition. It's gonna be like, no way, it's too good to be true. I feel like, how can I be that person for that level? I would think that if I was before. But if you're asking me today, right now, I'm totally more than 100% to date Bruno Mars.
Okay.
I can say, okay, I see Bruno Mars is I like him as a singer. My most favorite celebrity is Trevor Noah. I love Trevor, he knows that. So I love Trevor Noah. If you know in US, you know him. Yeah. And so I was thinking, like, I even imagine if for some reason I fly to New York and bumping into him, I would go talk to him without hesitation, 100%. That is my level of confidence today. Yeah.
It's good, and we all should be as confident as possible. So All right, here's a trap that I notice a lot of people fall into. If you guys can see this, hopefully you guys can see this clearly. All right, so say person A has 100 points of self-worth, and this is a trap. This happens a lot. I see this a lot, where person A will only accept people above a certain level, like have high standards. And so they'll only accept people above this level, but their deep down level of self-worth is here. And so this is a trap to fall into that you can't really get out of. So if anyone ever says, maybe you're being too picky, what they're saying is maybe that person's level of self-worth at that time is not quite a match to what they want. So someone's not accepting anything below this, but because of their current level of self-worth, they can't really attract above this. Because even if they got someone who's at 150, then what would happen is they would self-sabotage it. And so that's why it's so important to move this up before you get there. So they don't actually need to lower their standards to match where they are. They just need to raise their self-worth up to match the level of quality that they want, right? So, but I see this a lot. Some people will be like, oh, if somebody good comes along, then maybe, and really they're wanting this person to like jump over all of their walls and a lot of their stuff to like break into their life, just so that instead of actually doing the work of moving to become a match to that. Because if you become a match to what you want is going to come in. It's going to come in. I see it all the time, because when you're a match to what you want, your mind is very quickly able to figure out a way to get it. It knows what to do. It knows what to do, but it's going to keep bringing things that are matched to where we currently are. So let's talk about this. So, but the great thing is this can move. So person A can only date in this narrow band of near where they are. So we're going to say they can date person, we'll say person C. Person C for Carl or Carla at 115, if you guys can read this. Or we have person D. Person D at 85 points of self-worth. All right, so we've got two options here, and neither of them are bad. So hopefully you guys can see this. We have person A at 100 points, then we have person C at 115, and person D at 85. Now what happens is, the higher our self-worth, the more value every little thing we do has. The more value all the little things we do have. Higher our self-worth, the more value the little things we do have. And so what happens is, if person A is with person C, there's a little bit of a gap. It's not huge. It's still manageable. It's still within the bands. But in order to balance it from 100 to 115, person A is going to have to give a little bit of extra energy to match it. So this can look like person A paying for more things. This is one of the reasons why I think too, it traditionally started off as men paying for more things, because it was perceived that women have more value. And so a lot of times it was always this. So the men were kind of a bit lower, and because there was this gap, they were paying more in a different way to make up for that.
So it doesn't mean to have like pay in terms
It
of
isn't,
money.
it can be energy, it can be support, it can be
anything that contributes to the pie.
Yeah, contribute, absolutely 100%. That's very well said. It doesn't have to be money, it's just one form. So yeah, it can be, any form of just giving a little bit extra energy. This person also who likes this can also be sometimes who likes this dynamic can be a little bit of a people pleaser. That can kind of happen. And there's nothing wrong with this dynamic. It's not necessarily a people pleaser. It's just one way to balance the energy. So there's always energy balance.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, but this person, it might not be as secure. So the person at 115 might feel more secure than the person at 100. Now, on the other hand, what they can do is they can date person D, and maybe person D has 85 of self-worth. And so usually the person 85, maybe you start dating this guy, and he like might worship you more because there's this gap. And so because he's worshiping you more, he's giving you a little more energy. And so both of these dynamics are fine. It just matters what your
Because
preference is.
it's not a big gap.
Right. But usually who has a higher self-worth is going to call a little bit more of the shots. And so we see this a lot in relationships. You'll notice usually in a relationship, someone is going to have a little bit more power than the other. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people just like someone to lead. So you can either trade up a little bit for a little bit better partner, but maybe have to give a bit more, or you can have someone give a little bit more to you. If you like a little more security, you want someone to give a little more than you can choose this also. So there's nothing wrong with either one, but it's just explaining kind of what's going on.
So what if like show?
Oh, so
I want to see like what if big gap.
So if there's a big gap,
feel like
so say someone's at like
a lot of
50,
yeah.
And this person is A, it can start to be sort of exploitative or like take advantage of the other person. And so this is a tricky zone we don't want to be in too much, right? So say someone's self-worth is at 50 and they're dating someone at 100, they're gonna have to give so much to balance out this energy.
It can be a lot of work for this person.
Tremendous, and this is what happens like, when relationships, like it's kind of funny when a rich guy will fly a woman around the world, even though the woman has no interest in him at all. This is kind of like what's happening. It's kind of funny. So, but it can also happen in with genders reversed as well too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can kind of be bad if it's too big of a gap. So we don't want to do that. Also too, the person down here is going to be, subconsciously self-sabotaging. So they're not going to be good to be around for the other person also. But here's the thing. Say we really like person C. We like person C. Usually there's going to be more attraction to the person with higher self-worth, at least initially. Usually the people with a higher self-worth, it's going to be more attraction up. And so what we can do is say we really like person C, but we like the dynamic of being the one who's a little bit more valuable. There's nothing wrong with. If we were to raise our self-worth up, this person A now is up here at 130, their band moves up. And then all of a sudden they're with the same person. The person who was at the top end of their band now is at the lower end of their vicinity range. And then they can actually create the same dynamic with the other person, but with a higher quality person.
Keep moving up.
Keep moving up. And so, but the increasing this increases the attraction level in people to an extreme degree. It's really freaky to watch. Like someone can have, it's wild when I've had a shift in this, and it changes the game. People respond to you totally differently. If it's genuine, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a lot more confident, but deep down they're not really, it's not true shifting. So, but if you have like a true shift,
It's that from the inside.
the behavior from the other person just like does a 180, and the effect on this is wild. And so yeah,
I can if I may share an example. I have received a few inquiries about dating, and so another person have pretty low in terms of self-worth and container. Most of the messages that they say are in the low or negative vocabulary. I'm not happy. I think you can make me happy. I wish you can make me live happy day. I'm not I'm in the worst place right now. I don't like my job. I don't like where I stay.
yeah. And when people say
Stuck
too,
in
you're
relationship
good,
and stuff.
you're too good for me.
But then I think you can fix me. Something like I think you can make me happy. And then it's not. You start from within. You do you first. You move up, like what you say. You move up your self-worth, your internal self, and then the happiness comes from within you. And then you want to share it with other people. It's not looking for the external happiness to fulfill you. You start from within first. That's why sometimes that's why I mention the subconscious a lot, because when we go out and living in society, and we got to take the role as a manager, as a boss, as an employee, as a mother, or as a friend. We do our best at that circumstance. But when we come to anything that actually runs our life is a subconscious level, which is something where we don't know where we are. But a tip that I can give today is that observe something that happen often, anything that pattern, thing that keep happening, and find out why, what caused that pattern. Yeah, and then that is the beginning of starting to moving up.
That's true. So yeah, we want to observe ourselves. We want to, see what we're doing, because some of our actions and things going on are really subconscious, like we're not aware of it. And that happens a lot. And that's the thing too, is we're not aware of it. We're not recording any mental memory of it as well. So we're not even sure what's happening sometimes. So, being able to observe ourselves can have a really powerful effect. One other thing, I don't know if anyone's ever said this to you guys before, but if someone ever says, you're too good for me, has anyone ever said that? You ever hear anyone saying that before? You're too good for me. What they're actually saying is, you are outside of my band. And so usually what will happen is they will start subconsciously sabotaging, even though they maybe not want to. And actually a lot of toxic relationships come from this gap and because of self-sabotage, not necessarily always because they're a bad person, although they can seem like they're acting that way. But our subconscious is very strong about pushing out things we don't feel we're worth. It's very strong about that. And it has a really powerful effect. It's happened to me, but I see it happen with everyone. And that's what, like when people talk about different leagues, this person's out of my league. What they're saying is there's a gap between my internal level of self-worth and this person, or what I perceive this person to be. It's not actually even a true thing, but that perception will powerfully dominate, if that makes sense.
Your perception is your projection.
Sure.
Whatever you think about is your reflect.
Yeah.
I would bring this. Okay. Let me find something. I have something.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes.
This is powerful. So what we want to do is we want to keep moving up, and as we keep moving up, quality of our partner keeps increasing.
Yeah. It's like what you see in others is a reflection of yourself. So it's the perception.
That's true. So yeah, so that concludes the secrets. But I have another thing I have a question for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and share screen. If you guys have any questions so far, go ahead and ask. We're gonna have a little Q&A at the end. So if there's something that you wanted to talk about as well, we can go deeper. Whoops. All right, go back in. All right, so I want to ask you guys a question. Let's talk about this. I got a question for you guys. If you guys had your ideal relationship and you could get there within a few months and shave off years, that would be better. Yes? So one thing I have been thinking about, how can I help people to achieve this? How can I help people to have an incredible love life? How can I create something to help people to expand their happiness, expand all of this This is what I've been thinking about lately. So I've come up with something really special for you guys. Do you guys mind if I share it with you? It'll take maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Let me know in the chat if that's okay with you guys. Okay, good. So yeah, let's talk about this. So I've been thinking, how can I create something that can help people the most? And this is what I've been contemplating for a few years. Like, how can I help people the most? How can I help people? I have this information, with one-on-one, it's really effective. I've been able to help a lot of people, but how can I help more people? How can I help them in a deeper way? And so I was like, I need to create some sort of program that makes sense. Something that makes sense. So there's a few things that I wanted this program to have. And those things are, I wanted it to have a lot of support. So that's one of the things. If I create an online course, there's no real support. You just give the content and then it's done. And so, yeah, you read through the content and, maybe even the content's really good, but the support is the way you actually apply things. So I wanted to be able to have that. I also wanted to be able to coach people directly because people are going to have their own individual problems and things to work through, right? Makes sense.
Everybody have different, things to work on or
Absolutely.
personal life.
Right. And so we all have different things that we need to focus on, and we're all in a little bit different places. So I wanted to be able to still coach people directly. If I have a course, I can't coach people directly. And so I wanted also something that's ongoing growth. So you put out a course and then it ends. Or if you do one-on-one coaching, usually it's for like a 3 or 4 month period. I also have a 6 month, but then it's not ongoing beyond that. So I wanted something where people can easily stay and continue to grow, right? Week after week, month after month, and to really change their life. Because a lot of times, if I give you 10 steps, the next 10 steps, it can be overwhelming. But if I give you the next step or two, okay, that makes sense. All right, I got to move up to here. Okay, bam, move up to there. Okay, move up to here. And I coach a lot of people who have a lot of personal growth experience who may not be growing in the right areas. So I talk to people a lot and they've had a lot of personal growth, but there may be some select areas they need to grow in. And so they might be really advanced in some, but some still might not have moved quite as much as they need to. This happened with me also. I was like, I've grown so much, I should be totally ready for this. But then I was still kind of a newbie or a novice in some areas.
The journey is individual. Everybody's
individual, yeah.
And so we can't compare the journey. So this is more effective.
That's true. So yeah, so I wanted to also be super effective. So I think I've figured out the way. Also super effective without costing a lot of time. I want it to be minimal amount of time, maximum amount of effect. So, and I also want to improve people's lives. I don't want just to be about dating. I want it to increase people's confidence, their happiness, because that translates over into your relationship. I want it to be able to help people holistically because your dating life is not just about your dating life. It's tied into a lot of other things. So also, I wanted it to be affordable. So my one-on-one coaching is $5,000, and for a lot of people, that's quite expensive. And so it might be a bit of a shock. So I wanted to make something that's a lot more affordable so that anyone can join. And yeah. And what I wanted to do also, something that I thought was quite different, instead of giving people stuff, I wanted to think about what can I help people get rid of? What can I help people get rid of? So the things I wanted to help people get rid of, which I thought was an exciting idea, right? Endless dates with the wrong people, We don't want to have all these dates with people who aren't really serving us, who aren't really a great match with us, right? A lot of people have a lot of lonely nights. Like, okay, at night, people get lonely. You don't need to have that anymore. You don't need to feel like you're alone on your journey. So many times in dating, we feel like we're alone. It's just us, there's not like a real support system. Yeah.
Because the relationship of being adult is not, it has never been taught in school.
Yeah, we don't learn
how to be adult or how to be in a relationship, how to interact with the other male and female. What do men think,
Right.
So we have to Google, right?
Right. And so a lot of times we get terrible advice from our friends. Our friends are in terrible relationships, and a lot of times they're giving us bad advice. And we think it's support, but a lot of times they can lead us in the wrong direction. And so it's not real support. And yeah, also another thing we get rid of, which I think is quite funny, family. When are you when are you gonna meet somebody? When am I gonna have a grandkid? Or things like that. We don't need to have people asking so much. And that's one thing you'll be able to get rid of, because you're gonna be on your path, you're gonna be on your way. So we can let go of people wasting our time. We can let go of the playboys who are not looking for the same things that we're looking for.
Insecurity.
Yeah, I didn't write playboys on here. I wrote another side.
Increase self-confidence.
Right. So yeah, so we can let go of that insecurity. You don't need to have insecurity anymore. If you have insecurity, you don't need to have it anymore. You don't need to have a lack of confidence. You can be the most confident person on a date. You can feel secure. You can feel full of love. And you can make dating doesn't have to be hard anymore. It can be easy. So, and also I wanted to cut down on the time, and so many people, they feel like they're close. Like maybe it's just right around the corner, and then a week goes by. Oh, it feels like it's just right around the corner. And then a month goes by, and then a year goes by, and then 3 years, 5 years. Some people it goes decades, and it just constantly feels like it's just out of reach. But that doesn't need to be the case anymore. You can be on your way, and you can feel it, you can know you're on your way. And I think this is really exciting. And it also radically changes the quality of partner that you can have.
I don't know in the Western, but in Asia, especially in my country, when you turn 30, and then you study, everyone just started to ask you, do you have boyfriend? When you have boyfriend, they're gonna ask you, are you getting married? And once you get married, they're gonna ask you, are you gonna have a baby?
When is the baby coming?
That's become a pattern, like social pressure, and parents want to have a grandchild, something like that,
Right. Yeah. And it happens in the West too. It's very common.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's what you're going to get with the program. So I want to help people to create much more happiness, not just a little bit, a considerable amount of happiness, which I think is actually even more important than finding a great partner. But it's going to assist you in finding a great partner. So I want to help people to create very high levels of confidence, a lot of personal satisfaction. Satisfaction is so nice. So nice. It's quite rare to feel satisfied.
It feels full. It feels like too happy. Even you're not with someone else, it feels like, I love
you
you
feel
so
complete
much.
already.
I love you so much.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing too, right? As we increase our satisfaction, as we feel good as ourselves, it makes us much more magnetic. And so, yeah, increased levels of self-love. So people talk about self-love a lot, but they don't really explain what that is. So, yeah, and I think we need to have higher standards of dating. We don't need to lower our standards. We can have our ideal partner. We don't need to lower ourselves. We need to raise ourselves, but then we need to become a match to it. And so as we become a match to it, that really changes. Yeah, we want people to feel whole. We want to feel supported. And also I like to help people to create more abundance too. One of my clients, I help them to attract an unexpected $90,000, another 20,000, another 10,000. And so I want this course, this group coaching program to more than pay for itself. And I want it to also help people, of course, attract super high quality relationships. That's what I want people to find. I want them to get what they really want. So in my one-on-one coaching, it's quite expensive for a lot of people, but think about this. If all my one-on-one coaching did was to help you to meet a much higher quality of partner than you would on your own, would $5,000 be worth it? Right? 5,000 seems like a lot, but think about how much money we spend at university. Think about how much money we spend on college, right? I spent like over $130,000 on college, and your partner is even more important than your career. It's going to affect your life much more.
It's a lifelong.
It's a lifelong commitment, and all the time people like, okay, $5,000 this way or that way on a car. It's not that big of a deal if you buy a new car. Okay, $5,000 not this way on a house or an apartment, $5,000 this way or that way. It's not that big of a deal, but $5,000 to radically change your partner, who might even be paying for your house, it can make a radical difference. Also, would $5,000 be worth it if you were to meet them in 3 to 4 months instead of 5 to 7 years, which is the track that a lot of people are on? Would that be worth it? Right? I think it definitely would be worth it. So if you had higher levels of confidence, happiness, and well-being that totally change the direction of your life, would that be worth it? So I think it is. The average wedding costs $28,000 and the average divorce costs $20,000. So it costs $50,000 to be with the wrong person. Think about that. $50,000 to be with the wrong person. This is something you want to get right. That's not even mentioning the years that are wasted, right? For decades, and people are heartbroken and a mess. You want to get this right. You want to make sure you get this right. So here's the thing. Today you have 2 options. You can, first option, do nothing and not take this leap of faith. That's your first option. Even though it's risk-free, totally 100% risk-free, you can do nothing and not take a leap of faith. Or you have the second option. You have to pony up a small investment compared to all the value you're going to get, and you just give it a shot. Just put up a little bit of money, you just give it a shot, and that's it. Is it worth giving it a shot? And I personally believe that if I can't help you guys, I don't deserve your money. If I can't help you, I don't deserve your money. I don't want your money if I haven't helped you. So that's how I personally feel about it. So my promise to you is this program is designed so all you have to do is keep showing up and doing the work. It doesn't require that much time, but it requires a little bit of focus, and you got to keep showing up continually and keep growing. But if you continue to do that, you're going to get there. That's my promise to you. You'll get there. Keep showing up, doing the work. Soraya is going to help you. I'm going to help you.
Yeah,
And
I'll be teaching on this.
And it
on
makes
this
sense.
program.
If you keep growing in this area of your life, keep increasing, you have to get there. You have to. You have to get there. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about what you're going to get. So we're going to have workshops. We're going to meet online, kind of like this, twice monthly, where I'm going to be coaching you guys in a group setting. And then I'll be answering your questions. We're going to be doing a Q&A and answering your questions every week to help you to grow to where you want to go. So we're going to have the Mindful Dating Program. That's when it's going to happen when you sign up for that. Also, I'm throwing in for free the Skill of Confidence video course. So if you sign up today, you can get the Skill of Confidence video course. All right. Yeah, I'm also going to set a little bit of a timer here. So because we have a special offer, we're going to go ahead and start the timer now. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this. I set it for 30 minutes from now. Hopefully you guys see this. All right. So also for free, I'm going to be throwing in the Ready for Relationship checklist. So this is a really powerful tool, and I'm sure Soraya can also.
I done it myself. So by the time Zach created that checklist, and okay, let me try. Let me see what happened. And then I just go through the checklist, and the questions are really provocative. It's really digging in your internal self inside. Are you ready to have a relationship? So yeah, it's really powerful. I done it myself. I recommend it. Yeah.
So yeah, and so if you guys when you sign up today, I'm going to send that to you right away. You're going to get the checklist for free. The next thing, we're going to have access to the Mindful Dating community. So we're going to have a Facebook group. Soraya and I are going to be answering questions in between sessions where we help you to expand. If something comes up on a date, you can ask a question. And there's also going to be a supportive community there it's going to be growing together, like-minded people. And so that's really powerful thing. You're going to have some accountability. You're going to have a supportive, a lot of people, be there to help you. And with your individual problems, things that happen, issues that come up, and to point you in the right direction. I didn't personally understand the value of a community until I started being part of one, and I saw like how powerful it is. I've created some lifelong friends from a community that I'm in as well. So also, yeah, I wanted to help people to increase their abundance so that it more than pays for itself. More than pays for itself. I put it's a $500 value, but honestly, it's worth much more. I've helped people to increase their salary by $10,000. I've helped one of my my clients increase it by 90,000. So these abundance attraction exercises that I'm going to be teaching you guys are really powerful and can more than pay for itself. So that's what I want. I want people to have an incredible partner and come out of this program with more money.
That's
How about that?
awesome.
And I really think we can do this.
Yeah, just for my side is that Zach is specialized on the dating relationship. But for me, and will be teaching in this program on from my perspective. As a life coach, I mainly focus on wellness and wholeness, holistic health. I help people get unstuck and move forward in many aspects of their life. And especially, I'm more focused on working on subconscious, eliminate the self limiting belief, and eliminates the negative emotion or that stuff that we've been talking about earlier. And I'm not just getting certificate to become a coach and as a coach. I have been on this journey for really long, and I have been working on myself before I can discover I can help others as well. So I hope that I can be any value to help you to accelerate any other area of your life besides dating as well.
Yeah, so we're a supportive community and we're really taking a holistic approach.
Yeah.
And Zachariah has a great wealth of knowledge. He can help you and really cares about people. So yeah, so this is what all you're gonna get. You're gonna be in the mindful dating program. So, and we're gonna be helping you guys individually inside the group coaching to move forward. You're going to get the Skill of Confidence video course. You're going to get the Ready for Relationship checklist. You're going to get the Skill of Confidence video course and the Ready for Relationship checklist today when you sign up. And you're going to get access to the Mindful Dating community soon. Also, the Abundance Attraction exercises are going to come throughout the course. Slowly, we're going to introduce those. So that'll be part of it. So the total value, $2,875. I think it's actually worth much more than this because your partner is super important. It makes a huge difference and a huge effect in your life.
Yes. And for whoever will sign up today, I offer a free timeline therapy session.
Which is awesome. You should definitely do timeline therapy session.
I help people eliminate their self belief, mainly negative emotion that way back into their childhood or even beyond.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff can hold us back.
Yeah, that thing hold us back in moving forward in many areas of their life. So if you sign up today, that session is free for me. And if you're not signed up today, think about it, sign up later, and yeah, please message.
But yeah, it has to be today. So my special offer for you guys is later it's going to be $333 per month. It's the future price, but for you guys today, because we have some kinks to iron out, and there's going to be some bumps and things as we're getting everything set up. You guys can be part of the beta and be grandfathered in for $99 per month. So $99 per month to get all of that value. You cancel anytime. And so, yeah, but it has to be before the timer runs out. So let's go ahead and share. We're going to share the, let's see. It's more than that. Yeah, sanity and peace is extremely, sanity, our personal peace is one of the most important things.
You want to feel like you're in a good place, in a safe space, secure and peaceful together when you're together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel like it doesn't have to work much to be together.
All right, so we're gonna open up the chats.
You already have that?
You know what I might need to do?
Stop sharing.
Not
Copy
sure.
and
So if you guys sign up, what you're gonna do, I'm gonna send you this link, and what you're gonna do, you're just gonna scroll down here, and this tells you a little bit more about the program. And so if you sign up within the next 23 minutes, just click right here and then enter in your information, and here it is, set up for you guys, $99 per month, but you have to do it soon. So we only have 23 minutes left. All right. Otherwise, you have to pay the full amounts. So it's gonna be, if you want to be grandfathered in, you got to take it at this price. All right. Oh, here's the chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right. So here's the link for you guys. I know Patty, who's in here already, has already signed up. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Thank you for joining us today.
And lastly, I wanted to guarantee something for you guys. I have what I call my shark infested waters guarantee. That means if you wouldn't swim through shark infested waters to stay in the program after 30 days, I'll give you your money back. So it's totally risk-free, totally risk-free. So if you don't like it, within 30 days, you get all of your money back, because it's kind of like if you wanted to buy a house, you wouldn't just buy it before seeing the inside of it, right? The same thing is with this program. You can't really see the inside. You only see it from the outside. But if you sign up, right, you take a risk, take a leap of faith, and then you try it. You see the inside of the house, see the inside of the program, what it's like, and you can see if it's for you or not. If it's not for you, I'll give you money back. If my voice is too sexy, I'll give you your money back, no problem. Right? In 30 days. So you don't even have to decide today. You can decide in 30 days. And as a bonus, even if you didn't like it, which I'm confident you will, you get the Skill of Confidence course and the Ready for Relationship checklist for free, and you get to keep them as my gift to you. All right. So does that sound fair enough? But we only have 21 minutes left, so go ahead and click the link and go ahead and sign up, and we will get that started for you guys. So, yeah.
Where to connect with us, and you can connect with us on Melivia on Instagram, and for me, Facebook and Instagram Inner Blossom with us, and LinkedIn and website as well. Mostly I share so every day I do meditation and as well. And after meditation, I like to write some positive affirmation on my Facebook or either Instagram, mostly Facebook. And yeah, go check it out. And if that benefit you, uplifting you, please take it. And it's a free content. And mostly I spiritual practice, and yeah, anything that can bring the value and the wholeness to your well-being, please feel free to follow.
Yeah,
yeah.
Definitely follow Zachariah at Inner Blossom. She's got a great Instagram, a lot of great content, and a lot of inspiring stuff to help you to grow and go deeper. So definitely follow her, check her out. You can also add me on Instagram at Zachariah Bourne if you haven't already. And yeah, one message.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the program to start also. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you there. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming. Again, we got 19 minutes left on the clock. Definitely take down. It's at mindfuldating.carrd.co. So again, that's mindfuldating. .carrd, so it's card with 2 R's .co, and that'll take you to the site. And go ahead and go down to the sign up, click the sign up, and then we'll see you guys in the program, and we'll give you today the Skill of Confidence course and for free, and we're going to give you the Ready for Relationship checklist. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And we really appreciate all of you guys.
Have a good night.
Yeah, have a great one.
Well.
Thank you. All right. Bye. Bye, Patty.